Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the August 19th meeting of the Warren Zoning Board of Review. I am Jason Rainone, your chairman and MC for the evening. To my right is Jason Nystrom, our vice chair. Moving down the line is Kevin Method, Bert Rodriguez, and David Francis. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5 members this evening. David Francis is our alternate, but due to the numbers, he will be a full voting member of the board for the evening. Let me begin by apologizing. Unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond our control, we were not able to have a quorum in July, which is the reason that all of the applications from July were continued to today. So my apologies to any of the applicants from July. We will try and get that taken care of this evening. We will begin with the approval of the minutes from our June 17th meeting and the official record of our June 15th meeting, such as it was not. Do I hear any comments or amendments to the minutes as circulated?
I move that the minutes be approved.
Is there a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Minutes are approved as circulated. We will likely do a little bit of reordering to the agenda to try and get some of the shorter and simpler applications out of the way, but we will start with old business application ZB 26-11, David Hassan, owner and applicant, 56 Beach Street, plat map 7, lot 101. Request for a dimensional variance to construct an accessory structure with less than the allowed setback, more than the allowed lot coverage, and more than the allowed accessory structures in an R10 zoning district. Is the applicant here for that? Could you please come up to the podium? Yep. Could you please state your name and current residence for the record?
David Hanson, 56 Beach Street, Warren, Rhode Island.
Excellent. Please tell us a little about what you would like to do.
Well, we bought the property in 2013, and my wife and I are both artists, and we've been using the front. We were looking for a place with a building with a house with an outbuilding we could have for studio space, and we found the property with 2 houses on it. So we've been living in the back house, and the front house has been our studio and workshop space since 2013. And we want to allow our daughter and her family to move in to the front house, which means they're going to find space for the studio and workshop. We had a 10 by 10 shed on the property, which I don't know how old it was, but we tore that down some time ago. And I'd like to construct a building 14 by 20 feet that I could use to hold for the workshop and studio space. So that's the request.
Gotcha. So the actual dimensional variances that we are looking at, we have a front yard setback, dimensional relief requested. Front yard is 102 feet. I am confused by what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Mr. Chair, the requested relief, I think we need a little clarification on that.
Yeah. If I can ask the building official just to have a quick look at that and make sure that the numbers are making sense.
Is the drawing clear where the new shed is?
Mr. Hanson, yes, we see it's with the red is that's
Yes,
yeah.
that's correct.
When we consider these applications, we can't just kind of say like, okay, I see how it is on the map. We actually need to memorialize how, feet, dimensions, all that sort of things. That's where we're trying to get this clarified.
Understood.
I believe the 102 is the actual setback from the street. It's 102 feet from the street to the proposed structure.
I see where you are. Got
Okay.
it. But as far as this, the application in totality,
Yeah, there's no relief sought
On the frontage.
gotcha.
Okay.
That being said, I am assuming that this is all a pre-existing non-conforming. So as part of this, we should codify the total setbacks for all the structures on the lot. So then we are looking at a front yard setback of 8.9 feet where 25 is required. We are looking at a side yard setback of 0 where 15 is required. And a rear yard setback of 8 where 35 is required. And we may need to do a little math on the lot coverage, because I believe that is one of the notes. Yes, we have the lot area, 10,400 square feet. We need the square footage of the structures. Do you happen to know the square footage of the structures?
Not of the houses themselves, but not of just the footprint, no.
I think if you know the square footage of the, oh, yeah, square footage would be more than one floor. So yeah, we need the footprint.
Yeah,
would be-
yeah,
yeah.
Mhm. You have it? Okay.
Look it up, right?
So while we are doing that, the plans that have been submitted, essentially the shed that you are proposing is going in place of a smaller shed that would be removed in its entirety?
That shed has already been removed in its entirety, and it was a 10 by 10 shed, that is correct.
Gotcha. Okay,
So it'll be 280 square feet for the new structure.
correct. I assume the new structure would have at least electrical.
It would have electric, yeah, my intent is to use 6 by 6 pilings to support it rather than putting a foundation around it. And it'll have electric, it'll be insulated, but there'll be no plumbing or anything like that. And as I say, it's a workshop. It's not a living place.
Gotcha. No expected central heating or,
Oh, there'll be heat and air conditioning, but just to keep it comfortable, you know, for use during the winter and summer.
gotcha.
6%.
26%?
Is that as is or with the proposal? Okay.
What was it? I'm sorry.
26%.
Where 20% is required.
Okay.
And lot width is 80 feet where 90 is required. Gotta love the old lots. Very good. So covered on that. Are there any other questions from members of the board before we open to the public?
I don't see an elevation plan, so I guess just if the applicant could kind of describe the topography of where this is gonna go, of the land.
So beside the back house, the land varies. So when you're looking at the northeast corner of where I'm intending to put the shed, that's the highest point. And the lowest point is the southwest corner. There's about a 1 foot elevation difference between those two spots.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's fairly flat.
All right, and then with the neighboring parcels, what's the closest structure to your neighbors that this proposed workshop is gonna be near? Like, are there other sheds back there that it's gonna be close to?
The closest one would be my neighbor, Carl Dennis, to the east of us. He has a violin making workshop behind his house. And this building would be closest to that.
Okay. Okay, hold on.
So that's the whole one.
Yeah, so it's basically. Okay, thanks.
Are there any other immediate questions from the board? I think let's open up the public comment of this particular application. If I can ask you to just have a quick seat. If there is anyone in the public who would like to speak on this matter, can you please make yourself known and come forward? Seeing none, we will close the public portion of this application. If I can ask you to come on back up. Is there anything else that you think the board should know about the project prior to asking any further questions or preparing to make a motion?
I don't think so. I mean, no, I don't think so.
Okay. It's not a trick question, I promise.
Yeah, no.
I guess just if no one else has got anything, just to kind of just flesh out the record just before we move on that.
Mhm.
All right, so Mr. Hanson, you've proposed the workshop to go kind of to the back of the parcel where that old shed was, correct?
Oh, that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you give us some reasoning about why the proposed workshop is best suited to be there as opposed to somewhere else on the property?
By putting it adjacent to the back of the house, well, first off, the front house is going to be where our daughter and her family are going to be living. And the way the property is laid out, there really is a distinction between the property that's just to the side of the front house and the side of the back house. And so I really would not want to put that shed or this workshop in a place that would interfere with the use of the front house in any way. So that puts it immediately to the back. And it's just a large flat area there. And there's basically, it's, I would say, the least in the way of any other location on the property. I did some investigating. Originally I wanted to do 14 by 24 feet. And I went out and I laid it down. It was clearly too big. It just made absolutely no sense at all. So 14 by 20 is what I came up with as kind of the minimum that I could fit all of my and my wife's equipment into.
Okay, thank you. All right, and again, just for clear, this is for a workshop. There's not going to be plumbing, so this can't be used for short-term rental, anything like that.
It cannot, that is correct.
Okay, good.
Are there any other questions from the board members? Is someone prepared to make a motion?
Make a motion.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve application ZB 2611, David Henson, owner and applicant, 56 Beach Street, plat map 7, lot 101, request for a dimensional variance to construct an accessory structure with less than the allowed setbacks, more than the allowed lot coverage, and more than the allowed accessory structure in the R10 zoning district. The dimensional variance requested is due to the presented hardship of the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure, not to the general characteristics, thank you, of the surrounding area, and not due to the physical or economic disability of the applicant. The family members who need housing will be taking occupancy in the dwelling located to the north of the lot, where the applicant's current studio workshop is currently occupied, that space. The hardship is not a result of any prior action of the applicant and does not result in the primary desire for or greater financial gain. Number 3, the granting of the variance will not alter the general character of the surrounding area, and the request conforms with the purpose and intent of the Warren zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan. The hardship is more than a mere inconvenience, as the applicant has stated in the application that providing housing, it'll be providing housing to their daughter and son-in-law, as well as a granddaughter. Again, where the studio and workshop once occupy the space. The only thing I would also add is that the By building this structure, it must be in full compliance with all health, fire, building codes, along with town ordinances. And also the building will contain electric to include electric heat, I'm assuming, is that correct, sir?
Yes, that's correct.
And air conditioning.
Yes.
Memorialize the pre-existing blueprint and
You want those?
You have it? So we're going to memorialize the required, the dimensional relief here. For the lot width, where 90 is required, it's going to be 80, is that correct? Correct. For the setback, the front yard setback, where 25 is required, it's going to be 8.9 feet. For the rear yard setback, where 35 feet is required, it will be 8. There's no difference in the side yard setback.
Oh, no, the side yard setback is reduced to 0.
To 0, okay? And the max building coverage, where required is 20, will now be 26%.
And the condition that the structure cannot be used by, but type situation.
Okay, and also that the structure cannot be used for any type of living.
Yep, absolutely.
There is a motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank
Luck
you
to
very
your
much. I
project.
appreciate it.
We will continue on with application ZB 26-12. Mariana Agresti, owner and applicant, 15 Green Street, plat map 5, lot 105. Request for dimensional variance to construct an addition with less than the required rear yard setback and to construct an accessory structure with less than the required setbacks. Is the applicant here? Please come forward, state your name and current residence for the record.
Hello, my name is Mariana Agresti. I currently reside at 17 Point of Rocks Road in Yarmouthport, Massachusetts, but we have purchased the home at 15 Green Street that this application is for, with the intent of moving here once the renovations are complete.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about what you would like to do.
We love the property small the way it is, but it really only has 1 bedroom, and both of them are on the 2nd floor through a rather steep original stair from the 1800s. So our intent is to build a small room on the 1st floor. You can see the addition there of 175 square feet. It fits within the side yard setback, and it goes no further than the existing non-conforming kitchen setback, therefore not making the non-conforming condition any more than it already is. In addition to that, we'll be demolishing part of the roof to add height to the 2nd floor because it's also rather cramped up there vertically. Similar to the previous request, I am an artist and an architect as well, and we would like to have a place where we could also do our work. We had a 10 by 10 foot shed in the back corner, and it has since been demolished because it was dangerous. It was one of the first things that we did when we bought the property, and we've taken that away. We are proposing a 12-foot by 20-foot studio building in the back corner. The existing shed had a 2.5-foot setback on the rear and a 2-foot 3-inch setback on the side. So we are proposing to maintain those, but then extending the shed inward to the property. The 12 feet dimension came from my desire to make sure that they had at least a 4-foot path between the main house and the existing and the new studio. So we could landscape that and keep the building separate, adding to sort of an agricultural farm feel. We think that keeps with the spirit of it. Or even that kind of downtown, like separate garage building. So that was important. So that's the proposal. There is a chart on the drawing, the first drawing, that lists the required, the existing, and the proposed. I see in our side yard list that we may have listed it differently than I heard you reference it tonight. So for example, the side yard setback is 10 feet. We listed 17.6 because that was to the main house, not to the accessory building. So if you want to list what is to the accessory building, that would be 2 foot 3 inches.
I know one question that I had as I was going through the application, can you speak a little bit to why the studio is proposed to be 2 stories?
Because I work as a printmaker and I have 2 printing presses that would take up all the space on the first floor. And so right now where I work in our studio, I have a little loft space where I can put a computer. And so that's where that would be. It would be like sort of my non-inky place where I can do my my admin. That's part of my practice.
Gotcha. So the need for the additional floor space, it is stacked floor space rather than simply making the studio footprint larger.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. We don't really have room vertically, and it would be a ladder, just a sort of very steep kind of access to the loft.
Okay, is there going to be electricity, plumbing, heating?
Electricity, heating, I tend to use it year round. I do also have a slop sink where I work right now, and it would be hard for me to work without that, but we don't intend to put toilets, showers, or anything. So the proposal is that there is plumbing to the space so I can have a sink.
Okay, because one of the conditions we would put on the board, like you heard from the other one, is that this will not be, cannot be used for living arrangements.
Right.
How are we in lot coverage? It's small.
So the listed is,
4,010, 5,090.
yeah, drawing package says 30 is required and they're only up to 29.8. So they are still
Right under the line. Okay.
Are there any questions or concerns from the board to start? Hearing none right off the bat, I think, why don't we open up public comment? See if there is anyone in the public that would like to speak on this application. If there is anyone who would like to be heard, please make yourself known. Come on forward. Seeing none, come on back. We will close the public portion of this application and bring it back to the board.
All right, Mr. Gresti, so you had heard me ask the other applicant about the location of where the shed studio is going to be. Just so we can flesh the record out, can you give us a description about why the proposed studio shed is going to be where it is, as opposed to somewhere else on the property?
Right. So the other space would be on the opposite corner, right? But that's a place where we really want a long vegetable and flower garden. So we wanted to really sort of make sure that was unencumbered. Also, our neighbor to that side has their driveway there as well. So it made sense to cluster the driveways next to each other instead of having driveway, house, driveway. And so that also seemed beneficial. They also have a shed almost the same size. It's back a bit further than ours because their property goes back into this little notch, but they sort of live together back there together. So that seemed like the right zone on the property for this kind of thing.
Okay, thank you.
And if I can ask the building official, just from a spacing between structures standpoint, the site plan that we are seeing is showing 3'4" between the side of the new studio and the side of the house. Is that an acceptable distance between the two?
Say lot.
Okay.
Sorry, did you say there would be a 4-foot distance between the?
I'm calling it 4. I think the dimension on this drawing dimensions to the trim. So that's why it's dimensioned as 3'2" instead of 4. It'll feel like 4 because technology, right?
Not seeing any other concerns for me. Is there anything else that you would like the board to know before we put this to a potential motion?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Are there any other questions or concerns from the board member?
But just before I'm deciding whether I'm gonna make a motion, I just
Sure.
wanted to clarify, are we looking at a overall footprint relief, minimum, maximum, minimum lot? Is it 10,000 required? She has 4,010, so she's looking to get 5,000.
Well, the lot exists. That's, I mean, that's the existing non-conforming lot size.
Yeah, I think ultimately, would this qualify under the reduction for being a substandard lot? And do we know what that percentage would be? I'm not seeing it. Oh, wait, less than fine print.
Because it would be for the math, the formula, right?
I think I gave that.
Is it just where the dimensional relief is requested there? Is that the final figures we're looking at?
Let me-
Okay, thanks, man. The new state law allows for reductions in the amount of setback that's required when the lot is smaller than the zoning code originally envisioned.
Oh.
Unfortunately, it's building code calculus that we rely on Matt to sort out for us. So give us 1 second.
Okay.
You thought technology was going to be reliable? Come on.
Would this calculation change all the required numbers that we have for setbacks? Rear, dust?
So the only setbacks that are in question are the side yard and the rear yard setback. We know what they're going to be. It's just a question of how much of a reduction is 2'6" from what it should be, because what it should be changes because the lot is small.
Well, with it being a substandard lot, should we memorialize everything as is anyway?
We really should, what the final setbacks will be. In which case, the chart that's included in the packet is correct with the exception of the side yard proposed, which is actually 2'4" instead of 17'6". Oh, and the rear yard proposed is 2'6". Because those are the setbacks to the studio itself.
So where are you seeing those setbacks, the 17.6, I'm sorry? On
So,
the actual, okay.
Oh,
yeah, it's on the
Oh, okay.
second page of the drawing package.
Page A0.
I thought it was part of the front cover sheet.
Yeah, that's what I was looking for too.
It's the, and the table that says required.
Yep.
And then relief sought. All right, so it's here.
Yeah, so lot size is 4,010 where 10,000 is required. 8.2 is
So
the
the
side.
relief is
8.2 for the side. And rear yard was 20, so that would be 16.4. Okay, so the reduced expected setbacks are a side yard setback of 8.2 and a rear yard setback of 16.4 feet.
That's what's required.
That's what's required based on the reduced lot size.
So it looks like it meets those both.
No, the proposed.
Oh. so it's
Yeah,
like-
in the green dimensions on the small inset plan, the actual rear yard setback to the studio is 2'6" and the side yard setback to the studio is 2'4".
So,
So the relief sought would be 8.2 feet to 2.3. So 6 point. Yeah, basically 6'6" is the relief for side yard, and rear yard is 14 foot. And what you can potentially do is, instead of doing it as active relief, you can simply say that the variance dimension is 2'4", where 8.2 feet is required. And similarly, it would be 2'6" is being granted where 6.4 is required.
so the side yard is 2.4, where what is required?
The side yard is 2'4", where 8.2 feet is required. And the rear yard is 2'6", where 16.4 feet is required. And then we would want to just memorialize the front yard setback of 4.3 feet, where 15 feet is required.
Sorry, repeat that part.
Yep, So front yard is going to be 4.3 feet. Where actually, based on the reduction, where 12.3 is required.
All right, well, I'll jump in if if my numbers are.
All righty, go for it.
I'd like to make a motion to approve application CD 2612, Mary Ann Agresti, owner and occupant of 58 Green Street, plat map 5, lot 105, requested for a dimensional variance to construct an addition with less than the required rear yard setback, construct an accessory structure with less than the required setbacks. The relief sought is variance relief of the side yard of 2 feet 4 inches, where 8 feet 2 inches is required, and a rear yard setback of 2 feet 6 inches, or 16 feet 4 inches is required. In addition, front yard setback, we're going to memorialize that due to the unique setting and size of the lot, 4.4 feet 3 inches, where 12 feet 3 inches is required. This dimensional relief is the applicant demonstrates hardship due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure, and is not due to general characteristics of the surrounding area, not due to physical or economic discipline of the applicant. Hardship that is not the result of any prior action of the applicant does not result primarily from the desire to realize quick gain. Applicant desires to create an office space in this a new structure that she's building off the rear of her land. In order to do so, to accommodate her work. She needs to also have a second floor that would offer her space to do computing work and to basically normalize her work milieu so that she can perform her duties. Also, granting the variance will not alter the general characteristics of the surrounding area. The request conforms with the purpose and intent of the Warren zoning ordinance plan. This variance is the hardship more is a hardship more than it is a mere inconvenience, as stated by the applicant in wanting to move back to the town where she summered, she lives. And then this will conform this construction to the home as well as the new building. Be in conformance with all building codes, federal, state, and local, as well. She will put electricity in there and some light plumbing. It will not be used for residential use, nor will it be rented for residential use in the future or at any point. This is primarily just a work office, if you will. And it will have electricity, plumbing, and I believe some sort of air conditioning. Are we putting in any sort of
I'm sorry.
any sort of air conditioning, just electric?
I believe that I'll put in air conditioning at some point. Yeah.
So, as well, it will not be used as noted for any sort of residential use, but will accommodate the seasons for functionals.
We will further note that if this variance were not granted, it would amount to more than just a mere inconvenience, as the applicant would then be unable to perform her work and her printing business from her own property, and it would significantly hamper the use of the main structure. There is a motion made. Is there a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. Good luck to you.
Thank you. I'm sorry, I do have a question though. Does this also cover the modifications we're doing to the main house?
It does.
Okay, thank you.
Alrighty. As we know that there will be some discussion regarding the Overhill Road application, which is ZB 2613, we are going to quickly skip over that and take care of a couple of other very fast applications, one of which is not here tonight. So, application ZB 26-14, Ali Newsom, owner and applicant, 241 Water Street. Plat map 4, lot 45 is a request for a dimensional variance to construct a basement stairwell with less than the required front yard setback and greater than the allowed lot coverage in the waterfront zoning district. We have gotten word that that applicant is not available today. She is out of town.
Make a motion to table to next month.
Yes, she has requested a continuance to next month's meeting, so I will entertain that motion. Is there a second to continue application ZB 26-14 to the September 16th zoning board meeting?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? ZB 26-14 is continued to the September 19th meeting. And we will quickly run through application ZB 26-15, K Brothers LLC owner, Rebecca Cativo applicant, 2 Stewart Street, plat map 15A, lot 103, a request for a special use permit to allow automotive repair in the business zoning district.
Bless you.
Is the applicant here? Please come up to the podium, state your name and current residence for the record.
Becca Cativo, 91 Arlington Avenue, Warren, Rhode Island, 02885.
Excellent. Please tell us a little bit about what you'd like to do.
I am a small engine technician. I have been doing this for 10 years and I've been mobile. I would like to be able to service the community in a brick and mortar location. And potentially have some light automotive on the side.
Cool. Can you define for me what a small engine repair is? We're talking
So
lawnmowers.
small engine would be lawnmowers, snow blowers, generators, small scooters, pony motors, nothing bigger, diesel, small like landscaping equipment and stuff.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Can you tell us a little bit about the facility that you are planning to move into? It is an existing structure, correct?
It is an existing structure. It is I believe it's a 6-car garage bay. There are 2 automotive lifts that are in there that are functional. And I plan to put in a very small, I think it's like a 4x6 small lift to put on lawnmowers.
Makes sense. I imagine the business would generate some level of oil waste or hazardous materials that would need to be dealt
Yes,
with.
yeah.
Do you have plans and contracts in place to deal with that?
Yes, I do.
I believe you, for the applicant, I believe you said that there's currently like an auto body shop back there, mechanics, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So just so I'm on the same page, the petition or the application asks that says that it is currently I believe zoned for construction, but you want to move it to allow for automotive repair. Is
Yes.
that correct?
Mr. Chair, if I may, just to clarify and kind of hurry this up, because this parcel was the original location of a automotive shop for many, many years. This is where Twiggs Automotive was. When Twig left, there another automotive company came in. However, a construction company came in, so that relinquished the special use permit. So that's why we're before you today.
That's what I thought. I just want to make sure. we're all
Yeah,
on
so
the same
so
page,
it's and it's always been an automotive shop for years. Unfortunately, I went to construction, so that's why we're before you. There's ample outdoor storage, inside storage. I spoke with the applicant. She's understanding of how the property was used, and unfortunately, she had to come because of the relinquishing of the former special use.
All good.
Makes sense.
What are your anticipated hours of operation?
Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
And as far as either yours or your staff's hours, would you need an hour before, an hour after?
So I'm sorry, I am the only staff,
Mhm.
and I may be there before or after, but I will not be operating any equipment outside of my normal business hours.
You sure you don't want to add some Saturdays in there?
Some extra time, buffer time before and after, it doesn't cost.
Yeah, it's better to be safe than sorry.
Saturdays may be I'd like that to be an option.
Okay.
Business permitting. Hoping
Putting the
to
closing time the same time,
Yeah.
say 6 p.m.,
5 p.m.
5 p.m.?
How about any signage or lighting?
There is no working exterior lighting right now, but I do have a 5x5 sign.
Okay. So so the only thing that's in front of us right now is application for the special use permit. You'll have to take a look at our sign ordinance, see if it fits in, and if it's within the parameters, you can just do it.
Okay,
If you're going to need permission because it's too big or you want to do something else, you'll have to come back in front of us.
Understood.
Just FYI.
Understood.
Deliveries, are you anticipating like deliveries from like big box trucks?
I am not.
Okay.
I'm assuming the facility comes with trash removal services.
I had to get my own trash removal services. I contracted with Waste Management.
Are there any other immediate questions from the board? I think let's jump to the public portion of the hearing. I have a funny feeling you can probably stay right there. If there is anyone in the public that would like to be heard on this matter, please make yourself known and come forward. Seeing none, we will close the public portion of this application. You can come on back up. And is there anything else that you would like the board to know before we continue a little deliberation, ask any other questions we may have?
No, sir.
Jay is diligently looking something up.
Yeah, that's all. On the special use section, I'm sure it's good. Just want to make sure. right, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to make a motion
Excellent.
if I'm not jumping the gun.
Certainly seems like we're good. Do any of the other board members have any questions? Excellent. So
Right.
motion it is.
I move approval of application CB 2615, K Brothers LLC owner and Rebecca Cativo applicant, 2 Stewart Street, plat map 15A, lot 103. Request for special use permit to allow automotive repair in the business zoning district. In noting that the proposed small engine repair is going to fall under automotive repair, and it is a permissible use by special use in this zone. We find that the proposed special use will be compatible with the neighboring land uses. There's a gas station immediately adjacent to this property. It has been previously used as an automotive repair, and we do find that this part of the town sees these type of businesses, and we do find that proposed use, which is a small engine repair, aka automotive repair, is compatible with the neighboring land uses. We find that the special use will not create a hazard in the neighborhood. Again, there's been testimony elicited and facts elicited that there have been automotive repair shops in this exact location previously. And further, there's been indication by the applicant that she already has a waste removal plan and company already on retainer. We find that the special use permit will be compatible with the community comprehensive plan. Again, it's inviting another new business into the town of Warren, increasing the tax rolls, bringing more people in to spend their hard-earned money here. And we find that the public convenience and welfare will be served. Again, this is for the aforesaid reasons, but also small engine repair. This will provide yet another opportunity for individuals who have small engines to have a place to have them serviced locally. As further conditions, we will state that the hours of operation of this business will be at a maximum Monday through Saturday, from the hours of business to be conducted between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. We require a waste contract to be obtained for removal of trash, and the applicant's indicated one has been made.
Disposal of hazardous materials.
Oh, and then that we also require that the applicant properly dispose of all hazardous waste materials appropriately with appropriate entities with whatever needs to be done, and that the operating of this business will conform with all state, local, and federal requirements and guidelines. I did. Oh, sorry. That's okay.
Are there any other questions or conditions? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Good luck.
Good luck.
All righty. Backtracking for the last application of the evening, we will take application ZB 26-13. Chris Ferdinandi, owner and applicant, 41 Overhill Road, plat map 13E, lot 317. Request for dimensional variance to construct a single-family home with less than the required lot frontage and width in an R10 zoning district. You can please state your name and current residence for the record.
Absolutely. Christopher Ferdinandi. I live at 16 Summit Circle in Rentham, Massachusetts. In the process of purchasing 41 Overhill in Warren.
Excellent. It is my understanding, I believe, that we have story time to start with.
Yes.
Just to chat about the nature of this lot. Is that correct? Yeah.
So this lot was before you, and it was approved on, July 23rd, 2025. So it's just over a year. Unfortunately, no work was done on the property. As we know, it's being sold. So the original decision has been expired. That's why they're before you tonight. I believe do you have the decision in front of you?
We do. That is the dimensional variance decision that was provided by the clerk at the beginning of the meeting.
So basically before you is the same application of what was approved last year.
So it is the same application, same property structure proposal that's being proposed.
Different floor plan.
Different structure,
I
but
think what's being proposed is different than what was approved. What was approved had some conforming facts that this application does not.
Gotcha.
From my
But,
understanding,
all right.
of reading both.
but it sounds like whatever we decided in the past is moot because this is expired. So we're taking this as a fresh go.
Yes, what I'm saying of what was before you, before and now is the front width of the property. This is a abnormal property. That was why it became before, and that's why we're beginning tonight with before you.
Has there been any change in any sort of environmental or any logistical factors that helped forge why it was approved the way it was approved last time? There was a myriad of things that were mentioned in here about stormwater, a bunch of different variables. Are those factors all the same, or has the road changed in a drastic way, or the environment changed in a way that would help us?
I believe nothing has been changed besides they did do some clearing, and I believe the owners, they're in the room tonight. But as for any other, the road is the road as it was a year ago, so.
Thank you.
So with that being said, please tell us a little bit about what you're planning or hoping to do.
Yeah, thank you so much. So we're Rhode Island natives who've been in Mass for the last 15 years, and we're excited to come home. We have been looking in various towns in the area, fell in love with Warren, fell in love with the Laurel Park neighborhood, and are really excited to build our forever home on this lot. As noted by Mr. Cabral, however, the frontage on this lot does not conform to town zoning. I think actually even before it was subdivided, that was also the case. I think it's supposed to be 90 feet and it was only 80 and a half. Now it's 40 and a quarter. Our building plan conforms to all other zoning guidelines, as far as I know, in terms of setback requirements and things like that. So we're just requesting a variance on the frontage.
So one clarification that I was hoping for
Sure.
From you regarding the package that we've received.
Mhm.
So we have the land surveyor's plan
Mhm.
and we have the overall building footprint plan from Coastline.
Yes.
We also have two 8.5 by 11 floor plans. The first floor plan does not jibe with the building footprint plan that's been provided. Can you
Interesting.
rectify those two?
Tell me more. Tell me more. So in what way? So the dimensions of it are supposed to be the same. It is, we're still working in the interior a little bit. Do the numbers not add up to the right length and width, or in what
So,
way?
The building setbacks per the zoning code need to include all built structures that are above grade.
That
Okay.
includes
So
decks.
It includes deck, porches, garages,
Oh.
anything along those lines. So what we're seeing on the first floor plan with the optional porch and optional garage, all of that would be living within the required 15-foot setback and would be a separate variance request.
Are we looking at the same plan? I
Not know.
I just want to make sure we have the correct, because the one I'm looking at has it outside. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, our porch will not look like that. Our garage will not be there. I should have erased those off of the floor plan before I submitted that.
Okay.
I'm so sorry. That was for interior reference only.
Gotcha.
I see the point of confusion there.
Okay.
My apologies.
Okay, so then what is being proposed and the entirety of the exterior footprint of the building being proposed is what's shown on Coastline's A 1.00.
Yes, that's
Drawing.
correct. Yes.
Okay, so that helps a lot.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
And just so we're clear, all the structures that, including the proposed garage and deck, those all fit within the side yard and rear yard setbacks. Am I reading this correctly?
Yes, yes, they will not be located
Yeah.
any closer to the lot lines than they should be.
All right, and again, the only variance we're looking at here is the front yard.
That's correct.
Okay.
Is the frontage correct? So the actual length of the street side property line is what is in question. Right. Okay. Other questions? And this may or may not be something that you know at this point.
Sure.
Per what Mr. Francis was alluding to earlier, when this came before us last year,
Mhm.
one of the major concerns from the neighbors due to the natural hydrology in this neighborhood
Water.
is flooding and runoff. The building official can correct me. My understanding is that current building code requires all water that falls on the property to infiltrate on the property.
Yep.
Have you gone to any lengths as far as researching what it would take to contain all of the runoff water on the property itself?
Yeah, so we've been in conversations with our builder who is here tonight around that. So they have a specialist they work with that's going to help us figure out what the appropriate runoff from the driveway, from the roof of the house is. We also plan on planting a lot of deep-rooted native plants around our property that will help absorb any of the flood water that does come off of the roof or sheds from other structures on the property. But I am aware of that, and it is absolutely something we're building into our plan. And rain barrels, that's right. My wife wanted me to inform you, we are planning to collect as much of the rain as we can for watering things. So.
Gotcha. I had a question and now it's gone. I'm getting older. It happens. Is the property served by city sewer?
Yes, it
or-
is.
Okay, so there will not be a septic system or anything like
Correct.
that.
Same thing. And are you on well water or town water?
Town water as well.
Okay.
Are there other questions from the members of the board?
No.
I'm only asking, I'm actually asking the applicant because you're up here. We did receive some materials from one in opposition, and we're going to get into that, I'm sure, later on. There was a diagram that was given to us that includes a basement bulkhead. Are you planning on having any basement bulkheads as part of this building?
I would imagine we would for outside access into the basement. We haven't quite gotten to that portion of our building plan just yet.
The reason I bring it up is
Yeah.
because they stick out. That counts for the setbacks as well.
Absolutely.
So the placement is extremely important.
Especially on a lot of this. Yeah, I totally understand. We will, the only request for exception here is for the frontage. So all other setbacks will be adhered to. Or I guess I should say all setbacks because the frontage is not a setback.
Any other thoughts or immediate questions from the board?
All right, so it's narrow. I know one of the issues with this neighborhood, just with the placement, is going to be visibility with the road.
Mhm.
So your proposed garage is in the back, for lack of better words. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. And there's a driveway. So is the driveway going to be kind of running up along the side of the house?
Yes,
Like
yeah,
that,
which run up along the left side of the house. We figured we'll probably need some sort of little bump out in that area so that we can, back out and turn around if we need to. So you're not trying to back up into the street.
Okay, but just so we're clear, there's not going to be parked cars immediately between the proposed house and where the road is, correct?
Right.
Okay.
For what it's worth, we have a neighbor who does that where we live now and it drives me nuts. So we
Just trying to make sure it doesn't get any worse.
absolutely, totally understand.
Is the pool above ground or below ground?
Currently planned for in-ground or below ground, budget allowing.
I think I have my head around this at this point.
Yeah. All right, so mind. Yeah, I think I'm good with this one as well.
All right. Very good. At this point, we will ask you to have a quick seat, and we are going to open the public portion of this application. If there is anyone from the public who would like to come forward and speak on this motion, please make yourself known. Going once. All right, then.
So if there's anybody that wants to make comments about this, now is the time.
That being said, we have received materials from the public, which we will enter into the evidence and the record for this application. One was provided by Paul Bestoso of 40 Harris Avenue, Warren, Rhode Island, who is, I believe, your immediate abutter behind your property to the other side of the stone wall. So he has provided material to us, which the board has reviewed. We are going to mark that as Exhibit 1 from the public portion of this application, and that will be entered into the record as something to be aware of from that particular bit of public testimony. One of Mr. Bestoso's biggest concerns is stormwater runoff. He had raised that concern during the initial application a year ago, and he raises it again in the current information that he's provided to the board. So I know the earlier discussion of making sure that all of the water that lands on this property stays on this property is a significant concern. He also makes mention of the changes in floor plan and the mention of a wraparound porch, which I believe is probably a misunderstanding of how the information in the package was presented. So I believe that that has ultimately been clarified. I will also mention that we have received an email from Paula Hamilton, who is the owner of the property, the other half of 41. So that has that email has been received. That will be included in the total record for this application, and all of the members of the board have reviewed that email. Just making sure there are no other requests for public comment.
When will that be available? I'm just curious to hear the comment then.
Oh, the email?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
Do you want to read it? I
Yeah.
can read it.
we will do a dramatic reading.
Oh, you want to read it out loud?
Oh, I don't mind. She actually requested that it be fully read into the record, so I'm perfectly happy to read it out. So, dear members of the Planning Board and Zoning Board, my name is Paula Andrade Hamilton. I am the owner of the property 41 Overhill Road, immediately adjoining the proposed subject parcel 41A Overhill Road. Due to recent injury, I am unable to attend the public hearing. I respectfully request that this letter be read into the record and considered my formal objection to the requested variance. I first want to make clear that I do not oppose the construction of a single-family residence on the adjacent parcel. My objection is limited to the proposed variance and relocation of the buildable area, which represent a significant departure from the subdivision plan previously reviewed and approved by the board. As the original owner of this property before it was subdivided, I personally retained local engineers and surveyors familiar with the zoning and planning requirements of the town. I actively participated throughout the subdivision approval process. Because the property is located at the base of sloping terrain, stormwater management, drainage, erosion control, and the placement of future homes were upmost among the board's concerns. Considerable time, professional expertise, and expense were invested to ensure the subdivision would be developed while protecting adjoining downhill properties. To address those concerns, the subdivision designated buildable areas behind a 90-foot arc. Those locations were not arbitrary, nor were they selected merely for convenience. They were deliberately identified through engineering analysis and careful review by the board. The location of the buildable envelope was an essential component and consideration at the time of the approval. It is important to recognize that the applicant is not simply requesting permission to construct a single-family residence. Rather, the applicant is requesting permission to relocate that residence to a portion of the lot different from the buildable area approved by the board. The proposed relocation, which is significantly closer to the road, combined with the narrow configuration of the lot, driveway placement, and additional impervious surfaces, grading, and elevated decks, raises legitimate concerns regarding stormwater management and the impact on mine and neighboring properties, which include stormwater runoff impacting my property as well as adjacent and downhill properties, increased building cost impacting my future build caused by potential flooding, erosion, and along with increased maintenance, cumulative impact of additional impervious surfaces on an already narrow and constrained lot, loss of privacy and changes to established sightlines, increased noise associated with elevated outdoor living areas, adequate access for emergency responders, fire apparatus, and service vehicles. These concerns are not speculative. They are the very issues that were carefully evaluated during the original subdivision process and influenced the location of the buildable area. The purpose of this subdivision was not simply to create buildable lots, but to ensure that each lot could be developed in a manner that protected neighboring property owners. I respectfully ask the board to remain consistent with the original approval and deny the requested application. Thank you for your time, your thoughtful consideration on these comments, and your continued commitment to protecting neighboring property owners while preserving the integrity of the town's planning and zoning process. Respectfully submitted, Paula Andrade Hamilton. A couple of those things I will speak to, as we have mentioned previously. Current building code does require that all water runoff that does land on a particular property must infiltrate on that property. That is standard building code at this time. So unfortunately, the idea of runoff from this property onto neighboring properties is something that does need to be addressed during the building process and would be reviewed by the building official as a function of permitted plans. I will also note that we have reviewed the variance approval from last year, and at least as far as the zoning board is concerned, the 90-foot arc that is mentioned in this particular email is not codified in the dimensional variance for this property. I cannot speak to whether or not anything associated with that 90-foot arc that is mentioned was spoken about or codified in any actions of the planning board. So unfortunately, we cannot speak to that.
Yeah, just so we're clear, Elvis talking about a subdivision that had nothing to do with this board, correct?
Correct. That would have been a function of the town and the planning board. This board only deals with variances and use permits. So as far as this board is concerned, we can only speak to the setback limits established in the zoning board based on the approved and accepted property lines for this particular parcel, which, at least according to the information that's been presented to this board, the footprint as shown on these plans conforms to all of the setbacks as listed in the zoning code. And the only variance request that is before this board at the moment is the reduced frontage on the street, which is less than the required 90 feet per zoning code. That is the only thing that is in front of this board currently. As there seems to be no other public comment, I will close the public portion of this application. I will ask the applicant to come back to the podium.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you would like us to know about your application prior to asking any final questions?
No, I think the only other thing maybe just worth noting, we actually did originally attempt to buy Paula's other lot from her for about a month, and she refused to ever, for more than we're paying for this one, she refused to ever respond to us. So this email does feel a little retaliatory. I just wanted to kind of put that into the record. Facts notwithstanding.
I will say the proposed footprint in the plan seems to be very straightforward, cut and dry. I will say that it is right up against all of your needed setbacks. So if there were to be any changes or adjustments to this, if there were any appurtenances to be added to the plan as the design develops.
Can you tell me more about what that word means?
Any built structures.
Okay.
Porches, overhangs, car parks.
Understood.
Any pergola, anything that would be a built structure that would extend from the house.
Okay.
Odds are you would have to come back for a different dimensional variance.
Okay.
And it would become a separate question of whether or not that is appropriate, approvable.
Understood.
All of those sorts of things.
Thank you.
But as of now, with the proposed footprint that is shown on this plan, you seem to be in conformance with all of the associated setbacks that would be required.
Excellent.
Are there other questions or concerns from the board?
I just want to confirm the frontage. Is it 45 feet or is it this 40.27 feet?
I believe it's
That's being-
40.27.
think
What did I put on my?
No, I just want to get clarification.
Oh, not from me. Sorry.
It's,
Yes,
Apologies.
because I believe originally it was, when the lot was subdivided and came before us last year.
it wasn't even, it was not an even 45.
Correct. I think it was 80, it was like 80 or 85 feet, and then it got cut in half. So yes, the 40.27, which is basically 40 foot 3 inches, is the current frontage,
Gotcha.
where 90 is required.
All right. I'm prepared to make a motion if nobody else wants to.
Are there any other questions from the board members?
I tried this last time, apparently it didn't.
All right, go for it.
Yeah.
Now you'll have a match set.
All right, I approve application ZB 2613, Chris Ferdinini, owner and applicant, 41 Overhill Road, plat map 13E, lot 317. Request for a dimensional variance to construct a single-family home with less than the required lot frontage width in the R10 zoning district. In granting this approval, we find that the hardship is due to the unique characteristics of the subject land or structure and not to the general characteristics of the surrounding area. Is not due to the economic or physical disability of the applicant. There's been testimony given that this parcel at some point was subdivided, and what we're left with is a parcel that has a frontage of 40.27 feet. That's just the way it's set up. This was not caused by any action of the applicant. This is done prior to his coming before us, which leads me to the next thing, that we find that the hardship is not the result of any prior action of the applicant. We find that the granting of the requested variance will not alter the general character of the surrounding area or impair the intent or purpose of the Warren zoning ordinance and comprehensive plan on which the ordinance is based. Again, this part of a town, you have smaller lots. There are a lot of houses kind of, packed in, for lack of better words, and adding an additional structure here will not, change that area. In fact, we will note the entire structure as proposed will be built entirely within the setbacks itself. It's only the frontage that is the question. In granting this dimensional variance, we find that the hardship suffered by the owner, if not granted, would amount to more than a mere inconvenience, meaning that the relief sought is minimal to a reasonable enjoyment of the permitted use to which the property is proposed to be devoted. What's being proposed is a single-family home. The way the lot is currently set up and the way our ordinance reads, you need frontage of 90 feet. If we were not to approve this today, nothing can be built. The proposed structure in front of us is going to be built entirely within all the required setbacks. So if we were not to approve this, the applicant's not going to be able to build his house or any house in this area. To codify what the variances are, 90 feet are required. What is existing and what is being proposed is 40.27 feet. And again, I will reiterate again that the proposed structure in front of us is entirely contained within the setbacks as is. As additional conditions, we will remind the applicant that he needs to follow all state, local, federal building codes, specifically including water runoff, that any water coming onto his property must be maintained on that property. Yeah, I think that's it.
Are there any other conditions or amendments?
Did we get the building codes?
Got building codes, got water infiltration. Yeah. Very good. Is there a second? Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved.
Thank you all very much.
Good luck to you. That being said, are there any other administrative matters to come before the board?
I have a question.
Yeah, no, Dave, go.
Did we limit the new agenda items to 3 in the past?
I believe it was 6 is actually the maximum number of items that can be on an agenda. And that is 6, including old business. So old business counts first, and then we stack new business up to 6. There is also, if I am remembering correctly, a maximum curfew. So if we are hearing an item at 10 o'clock, the board needs to vote to continue hearing that particular application. Any other applications on the agenda that would have happened after 10 o'clock get automatically continued to the next meeting.
Appreciate that. Just, I had a
Yeah,
question
we've,
in my head about it. I was like,
we've definitely had some meetings in the past where it's been 7 or 8 items and we've been here till 1
Yes.
o'clock in the morning,
Yes.
so we try and avoid that.
Yeah, you set up, guys.
yeah, that was a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I have another is the council posting for the a vacancy?
I saw it in the newspaper that,
Okay.
yeah, it was listed as an available.
I've been a little out of touch. I just was curious.
I'm always a little out of touch. Is there anything else to come before the board? Motion to adjourn?
No, let's stay. I'm kidding. Yeah, let's so moved.
All in favor?